This is Brother Black Unity. Just want to come here and introduce the Conscious Cultural Circle. We want to introduce ourselves today, and we will be a platform of Black consciousness and walking into Black consciousness. And before we start every call, we do our invocation to our ancestors and bring them into the fold and ask for their guidance. So just to start this call off, we're going to do the invocation. All right. All right, here we go. In the presence of our all-powerful and all-knowing and all-present Creator, we revere you using the names as called upon by our ancestors. We pay homage to Ra and Ra'at.
Ashe. Ashe.
We pay homage to Odamare, Olorun, Olofi.
Ashe. Ashe.
We pay homage to our celestial ancestors, known in different cultures by different names. To some, they're known as Orishas. To some, they're known as Vodun. And to some, they're known as Netaru.
Ashe. Ashe.
In the presence of our ancestors who died during the Middle Passage and our Ma'afa, we pay homage to.
Ashe. Ashe.
We pay homage to our universal ancestors, the one who researched and taught us who we are, the freedom fighters that stood for what and it is free. Feel free to call their names. We pay homage to Marcus Garvey.
Ashe. Ashe.
We pay homage to Malcolm X.
Ashe. Ashe.
We pay homage to Nanny of the Maroon.
Ashe. Ashe.
We pay homage to Harriet Tubman.
Ashe.
We pay homage to our personal ancestors, those who gave birth to us, nurtured us, and taught us. We pay homage to Mama, Baba.
Ashe. Ashe. Ashe.
We pay homage to Igun.
Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe. We pay homage to and welcome the present moment. We salute the power of the moment and salute the ever-present now. We pay homage to.
Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe.
We pay homage to future generations. We remember them now and build for them so they can pour for us one day. We pay homage to.
Ashe. Ashe.
Which bring us back to where we started. We begin with the Creator and we end with the Creator. We pay homage to.
Ashe.
Asante, Asante, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe. Ashe.
All right, fam. Once again, welcome to the Conscious Cultural Circle. And we would just want to, bring you to our circle. Our intentions of this channel is to be a platform of Black consciousness, especially for the new person walking into Black consciousness and trying to find themselves, trying to learn their history, trying to, learn who they are culturally. And so, and we're a group of it's a group of 6 of us, and we come together every week and we do discussions and calls, and from these discussions, there's so much to learn. So, what I want to do is just to introduce everyone that's part of the Conscious Cultural Circle, and I guess I'll start with Brother Woke, and what I want to do is everyone to kind of talk about how they came into Black consciousness, how we came into the circle that we in, and and then let's build from there. So Brother Woke, introduce yourself.
Thank you, Brother Unity. So my name on the platform is Brother Woke, and I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Just coming into this consciousness, and like Brother Unity said, we get together once a week, maybe twice, a few times, have some calls. I think that just part of it, a large part of coming into consciousness has been my queen and her journey. And I want to say like my earliest memories of it is probably like I had the Black Power granny, right? Like who uh Christmas time when I was Christian, you would get, you'll get some gifts. I mean, I remember like one year I got a Knight Rider car. I'm aging myself a little bit. And then I got a book on Africa. And I had to do, like a report and tell my grandma, what this book was about. So, like those are my earliest things. And then, as we evolve, we come to find out some other knowledge. And I'm just looking forward to being on here, building with everyone on the platform. Also, whoever's in the chat, whoever joins us, decides to join us later on.
No doubt, no doubt. Asante for that, Asante. So, on these calls too, bro, as we build them, we consider ourselves a a Pan African people, and and so we do try to learn some of the languages. So sometimes you're going to hear some Swahili terms that we use on the calls with each other, and just like one I just used, Asante, which was I was thanking Brother Woke for for his statement. So um so let's go to uh Sister Adwa. So let's share with us your journey into Black consciousness and how we
Mr.
came to
Amma, you
be.
don't have to shake your head no.
Yeah.
Oh, you know he's going to start with you.
Yes, he catches me every time.
I'm here for comedic relief to the audience.
Yeah.
So I just want y'all to do. All right.
Okay.
So yeah. So my king is Brother Woke, and my name is Adjoa. And some of you may already be familiar with that name if you've already done some research on it, or you may actually be directly related to the culture, um, which is Akan and Ashanti as well. But I took it from the Akan um, nation and religion, which means I was born on a Monday. So my name is Ajua. So my story, I was thinking about that when we talked about it before, and I was just like, where would I begin? Where did I first started to actually think about where I came from, Africa in general? And the funny thing is, and I know that some people can relate, is that I got my first glimpse into African or just a Black empowerment when I was being introduced to Hebrew Israelite religion. So I know he was like, it's very pseudo, etc. It's nothing but militant Christians. But the part that lit something in me when I was very young, and I mean I was like 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever, because a lot of my family was Hebrew Israelites, is that we were the chosen people. You don't hear that even prior to in everyday life. You don't hear that Black people are the chosen people. So that did instill in me some form of pride. I really, really did. And then I went to an Afrocentric school, so to speak, for middle school, and our classes were um, labeled for the different nations in Africa. So you had some that were the Songhai, you had some the Homie, you had some that were the Ashanti, which that's what I was, and you had different ones. And we, all of our teachers were Pan-Africanists, and they taught us a lot in that little bit of time. Because this was a public school, we all know that didn't last long when the the administration caught one with what they were doing because it wasn't really advertised. At that point, that's when my teachers separated and they did their own charter school, which is still in effect now, but I went to high school. After that, my honestly, like my consciousness really went dormant again and was asleep for a very, very long time. Excuse me if you hear the cartoons because you know that's my baby watching TV. Um, Dormant for a very, very long time. And when I was in high school, I yearned to be myself. I'm not gonna lie. It was always something like I hated going through the process of perms and stuff like that, but I did all those things to be liked and all that good stuff. I would say what started helping me break free again was the emergence of neo soul, an emergence of what we call conscious rap today or backpacking rap. So it was one of, or hip hop rather, and it was one of those things to see Jill Scott, to see Erica Badu wearing their natural hair, and Jill is actually from Philly, where I'm from, to hear the music of Black Star, you know, to hear the music of Dead Prez, it really, really ignited something in me. And as my kid attest to, so again, giving you those days do kind of date us, was one of those things where he knew like she's changing a lot. And I went to him one day, I said, you know, I think I'm gonna cut my hair. And he was so shocked because you know, like most women at the time, I valued this before all the weaves and stuff, but I valued how long and straight my hair was. And I was just over it. And he went with me that day and I cut all my hair off and I felt so free. And that was the tip of the iceberg. That's when I just started getting all these books, Pan-African books. And I remember I read one on Cuba and I was like shocked because I was always told all these bad things about Cuba and the Cold War and all that stuff. And we used to go to Hakeem Bookstore, which is in West Philadelphia, and many Philadelphians would know about this. And we would just get a bunch of books and we would just dive in. Ivan Van Sertima, it's just so many. And it really just awakened this part of me. And I just started volunteering my time anywhere I could for Black, you know, for Pan-Africanism. I'm going to make this short, so sorry. Then we moved again. We moved and I kind of went to sleep again. Not completely, but so many other things started coming up where I couldn't devote myself to that. And when I came back home, that is when I came across UBA. UBA stands for United Black America, which is where I met all of my beautiful family that's on this call today and some that could not make it. And there I was really impressed with and really drawn to one, the structure, the knowledge that the, we're going to put this in air quotes, quote unquote, leader. And I was also very impressed with the people that I was meeting because you had some that were on my level and many others that were beyond that. So I was learning so much, and they also had a spiritual component which I was desperately in need of at the time, or I'm still in the need of, you know, it came about at that time. And that's where I started really getting back into who I am and my place in this world, and really ignited the Pan-Africanist that's here today. So I yield the floor.
Yeah, that was powerful. That was powerful. So yeah, that was powerful. You had something, Amma? Was you gonna say something?
She gonna turn the camera off.
Okay.
She did.
Oh, we lost Amma for a minute.
Oh, we lost her. Okay.
Yeah, we lost her. Yeah, she'll be back. You know, that is technical difficulties. So
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, so I guess you know I'll jump in and share my story, how I came into consciousness. And I'm Brother Black Unity. So you know I came into, I think I've always been what you would call pro-Black in a sense, but I don't think that the level that I am right now. But I can't, I came into Black consciousness just, I think this is kind of similar to what a lot of people, how they come into it. Within the last 10 years of what the Black community has been going through in the United States. I'm here in South Carolina. So, and every time I would see the Trayvon Martin or the Tamir Rice or the young sister that was thrown around in the classroom right here in my state in Columbia, South Carolina. Um, it was thrown around. The young sister and the young teenage sister in Texas that was body slammed in a bathing suit. That stuff, it really touched me, because, I care. It's one people, you hear some people say, well, if that was my daughter, or if that was, but every time these incidents went down, I felt like, yo, that's my son. That's my daughter. I felt, I felt it. So it led me, to feel like, I got to do something. I got to do something to contribute to my community and what's going on with us, as a people, in this country. So, that's how I came, and it led me to just searching. I think, one of the few people that brought me into Black consciousness as like a start was Brother Umar Johnson. His message of Pan-Africanism. I was introduced to Pan-Africanism by him, and also from the spiritual side, Brother Ray Hagan. So, and then so it started me searching out, looking for, there got to be an organization out here trying to do some work. So, and that's how I came to meeting the family on this in the conscious cultural circle. I met them do like Kaka Adwa said, Sister Adwa said. We met through UBA. So, and right there, was another layer of my consciousness being awakening and being I guess incubated in a sense. So um so that was it, and from there, I was like, yo, I gotta put in work. I gotta put in work. I gotta gain knowledge of myself. um Understanding white supremacy, and all of those, and all of that stuff, and understanding who I am, our place in the world and the world around us, and how we came to be. So led me down that journey. So in one of the books that was instrumental to in my awakening was well, two books: The Miseducation of a Negro and The Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. The first book was by Carter G. Woodson. Um, so yeah, that's it. And right now, this is, we and here we are with Conscious Cultural Circle. We're creating a platform because we know there's a lot of people that's coming to an awakening that don't have an institution or any guide to help them through their journey of Black consciousness and in all aspects. So whether it be spirituality or just the Black Power movement, Black economics, and all of that stuff. So. Um, I'm looking forward to sharing, the discussions that you guys are going to hear and get to participate in with us, your comments, and you guys, subscribing to us, and becoming part of our community. So it's this is new for us, and everybody that's here in the group, this is new for us, but hey, we're stepping out and we're doing it for our community. So, and because we have you guys' mind intention, because we went through that same journey. So I yield the floor, and I'm gonna ask Sister Alma to come on and share her story. And Sister Alma's my queen. Yeah, Sister Alma's my queen. So I'm gonna let her share. You there?
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you were married. Yeah, thank you for that. Um,
How cute is that?
Yeah.
I get my man caught up.
That's it.
yes. Came into consciousness. Well, I'm married to brother Unity, like he was saying. That's my king, and he started sending me these videos on Ray Hagen's videos, and I started listening to those. A little background: I come from a church background where we ate, slept, played church. I mean, that just was it. So I'm glad he, you know, sent me those videos in the way that he did. Um, and right after that, I don't know how long that was that we did those videos and a few other things, but he told me about a course that was with UBA, that you guys heard mentioned a few already that we all met on at UBA. But we took this course, and the videos from Ray Hagen, that got my attention. But the course really, that really piqued my interest. And when during the time we were going to church, like, I got saved at 14, if you want to say got saved, because that's what they say in the church, the lingo. But um, up until that point, that's all I knew. So once I started getting all this other information, it piqued my interest, and I always felt like something was missing. I never questioned anything, but I always felt like something was missing. I went to one church until I was maybe from that age before 14 to maybe 27 or so. And then, we went to a few other churches, but I always felt like something was missing. I wasn't fulfilled. I felt a deep, deep connection spiritually, not with that, but just something on the inside was, it was there, and I just didn't know what it was. But once I took the course with UVA, and we started reading more, and um, Black Unity and Sugar Plum Goddess, it was us, and learning a lot from them because they had, you know, learned more information. They knew more than I did at the time because I was very, very new at the time, which I'm still learning and growing. But make a long story short, that's how I came into consciousness, and I'm still learning. I love this group. I've learned so much from you guys. I'm learning so much from you guys, and I'm just super excited. So I'm glad to be able to provide this platform for others, and I yield the floor.
Yeah, is just is there any book that you referenced to that really was, that so far, because we read so many books, is there any book that you can mention as a reference to a brand new person, that's coming into consciousness that was a influence on you?
Well, for me, it was several, but to first thing that pops into my mind was is Know Thyself,
Mm,
Brother Naeem
mm,
Akbar. That was one for me that really it just really made it simple and basic for me that I could understand. I read a few other books that were recommended at the time, but I feel like I need to go back and read those now because where I am in my journey now, I feel like I can understand it better. But definitely Know Thyself by Brother Naeem Akbar.
okay. Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. So, Sugar Plum Goddess, share with us, share with, yeah, share with us.
I will share. I am the sugar plum goddess, and I don't know if I can honestly say when I came into consciousness because I don't think consciousness has a time. Um, it seems like it's a being, and I don't
Hmm.
necessarily know um, how to explain that because I don't necessarily know it myself. But as a child, just like I grew up in a strict Christian base household, um, single parent. But I did have grandparents that were quite influential when they were allowed to be, but we were often kept away from our family because of the church setting. It was one of those fire damnation, and everyone on the outside of this church is gonna die and burn in hell kind of thing. So that's
how I grew up until about the age of 13. And then um, my mom got married, and that changed the whole dynamics of what I once thought was the world. And but I always kind of questioned my cult existence because things seem to be contradictory. I couldn't understand how the Bible actually worked. So I always questioned it, even though I never got fulfilled when my questions were supposedly answered. They didn't make sense. So I just went along with it because I was a kid, and that's basically what I had to do. Um, then when I in my teenage years, I kind of just strayed away, didn't really deal with it because you know, it didn't seem to hold its bearing because it didn't make sense how this could be my life for like, you know, double digits, like 10 years, 12 years of my life. And then all of a sudden it doesn't exist anymore in that facet. So I kind of just fell away from it. I got back. I tried to get back into it in my 20s because I was looking for something. There was something missing. Spiritually, I just couldn't figure out what was going on with myself, and I just thought that I just need to get back into Christianity. And just like Alma stated, I think I was baptized around, I don't even know what age. So that should kind of show you how relevant it is to me. I don't even know when it happened. But I got back into the church and I thought it was going to be what I needed, but it wasn't. So the breaking point for me with the church, I do believe, was after the birth of my twins. I wanted to have them blessed and so to speak. So at the time, the church was teaching a course in family unity and how important it was for the black family to stay together. At the time, my then boyfriend, who is now my husband, we weren't married, but we were together. We were a family unit, and the church would not perform a ceremony, a blessing ceremony, because we were not husband and wife. And that to me didn't make sense because I thought it was all about the family unit. It doesn't matter if I'm technically, on a piece of paper not married. This is the father of my children. I'm with the father of my children. We support these children together. So I could not understand and comprehend that. So that to me just really broke it and said, this is not it for me. So I think that really broke me away from it. And after that I was just whatever. I wasn't really looking for anything. Had plenty of questions. Wasn't really looking for the answers either. I just said, okay, this is just how it is, and I'm just living life. So I was working with Brother Unity here, and I was working with him for quite some time, and I think he um, asked me or either introduced me to how we all met. As previously stated, we all met at UVA, but him and his wife I had known years before we even got into UVA. So when he introduced me to it, I immediately jumped into it. And like Ottawa, I liked the structure. I liked the fact that this was a platform that Black people were actually um, you know, they seem to be, fine tuned and running like an efficient machine. Everybody had a job, everybody had a position, everybody had a role, and it was clearly stated. And, it was as if we were building that self sustained community that seems so far in the past in the 1960s and 50s that everyone had. It seemed like that was something that just was, it was back, it was here, it was, this is where I want to be, I belong here. But that didn't pan out so well. And it, I guess, fast forward, here we are. We don't have that number, but I do believe that we have the strength and the drive to push just as well as that huge well-oiled machine that we thought it was. I think, even as small as we are, we can still be a driving force, and one that's most definitely to reckon with in the Black community. So I can say I guess I've always been looking for this. I can't say exactly how how I can't exactly say how I came into it though. I don't know what was
Mm,
the thing when I was a kid that made me doubt everything that I was learning, even though I was following it. But the I guess the works that did it for me, um, Know Thyself, which is something that that Alma has already mentioned that I would definitely like to go back and read again, because I feel like I need to read it again. It feels like there are things that I need to maybe go back and recapture. And the destruction of the Black civilization was something that just I don't that book had me
mm,
fierce. It had me devastated. It had me torn. It had me so upset, you know, with
mm.
my people, but with the world too, because I couldn't quite grasp the the transgressions that are in that book. It's just um it's beyond human nature. It's not I don't know, it's just something that has it was a hard book for me, because it was devastating what happened to our people. So that's my story, and
Okay.
it's
Okay.
still
All
being
right.
written. All right.
That that's what it is. That's what it is. So yeah. So yeah. So brother Woke, what, you got something for me?
So I had a question just because I think
Yeah.
we just knew about Sister Alma. You were um, still Christian when we were doing like the classes at UVA?
Yeah, so I was, but I
Wow.
wasn't going to church anymore.
Okay,
I
okay,
stopped. I stopped going, but I hadn't transitioned all the way over. I was just right transitioning over that during that time.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So
And
so,
oh, I'm
so
sorry.
no, no, go ahead, brother Woke. Go ahead.
I was gonna say one more thing. Sister Sugar Plum, you said you was in the cult.
I call it the cult. I call it the
Oh,
cult
all right.
because
I was
yeah,
about to ask you about that experience. Like, like what y'all
well,
doing?
to me, to compare it to, just a traditional church, to me it was a cult, because
Okay.
the preacher that was over that, he had two wives, he had a farm, we
Wow.
worked for this joker. We,
Wow.
he had his congregation working his farm.
Seriously?
Oh
Yeah,
my
We gotta talk,
gosh,
seriously.
you
we
sound
gotta talk
like
about that
Dr.
in the
York.
future.
Don't you sound like
Seriously. Oh,
Dr. York?
y'all,
Yes.
man. I pick cucumbers. I worm tobacco.
Yeah, we
Back.
gotta
Yeah,
have a
I've
conversation
done it.
about that.
We
Yes.
gotta talk
I
about we
mean,
gotta talk about that in the future talk. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I wasn't trying to derail the conversation. It just
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
it's no, I've had that kind of experience. So yeah.
oh yeah, oh man. Oh, I can't
So
wait for that one.
so family. What? So why do y'all think this Black consciousness? It seems like there's a lot of people coming into, you know, being led to this awakening or to this atmosphere. What is it? What do y'all think is going on? I mean, what's pushing that?
I think that you kind of touched on it when you were going over how you came to be, as far as your consciousness, and I think that in the last 5 years or so, people, because we live in an age of social media, which is 24 hours a day, you have CNN and other networks that are 24 hours a day, and we are being forced to see what has always been happening, and that's with
Mm,
the violence against our people. And I feel that this is one of those things that you can't you can't turn a blind eye to. It's there all the time. And so I feel that some people, their anger, their distress, um their feeling of hopelessness, they turn to consciousness, because they want to understand, like I think many of us, is why? What is going on? Why is anyone doing this? Why are we in this situation? And then you have to go and do the work but I really feel that so many of us are led to this community because of all the violence. You know,
Mm.
I feel that the social media plays a huge part of that because it's not just being in the echo chamber. It's on everything. You could be following no one conscious or anything like that, but best believe I'm pretty sure most of us have seen our people actually be murdered by the police on television, murdered by the police or some quote unquote what do you call it, their neighbor or whatever, on television, on Instagram, etc., and they don't even blink an eye. And I think that's another, I mean, for me that hurts. You know, I see that people cry and fawn over some kid in Israel, but no one even blinks an eye when our own men and women and children are being murdered. So I felt that, you know, like I said, what you brought up before, I really feel like so many of us are being called to work on this, to be on the front line because of all that we are seeing these days. I
Mm.
yield the floor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. S Anybody else?
So I think that I agree with everything Audrey was said, but I also feel as though like black folks. Sorry,
Yeah, you good?
computer wanted to do an update right in the middle of our conversation.
Yeah.
That black folks is just kind of tired, right? Like we've been going to church for 400 years, you know what I mean? And they telling you to wait on Jesus and all these other things. And some of us realize that that's not going to happen. And then you don't, we, we are lied to about, our lives here in the US a lot of times and some of our accomplishments, what's going on back in the continent. And we live in this age where everybody is carrying around like the sum total knowledge of the world in their pocket, right? Like you can find out about anything. And so it's not as easy to, like keep lying to these folks and keep promoting these things. That coupled with the violence that I think we've been experiencing it is just, you just notice more and more people. You notice that some of the things that were probably fringe, conscious culture, and I always hate that particular
Mhm.
right? But like the fringe like when we were growing up is now like popular. Like you never saw girls with locks like in styles
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and then like some of those things. So I just think it's like time and there's definitely an uprising of some people. It ain't all of us. You know what I mean? Like people wanna like make it like everybody. It ain't all black folks, but you know what I mean? Like some people just try to find out the truth and do better for their family, and they realize that we're not going to make it as part of this system in this current iteration, whatever that means to you. You know what I mean? So,
So
uh,
is so Chuck, is what's happening right now with black people coming into an awakening and coming into black consciousness, is it different than when back in the 60s when you had the Afro Black and I'm Proud movement? Is it different from that time, or is it different? Is it the same? Can anybody comment on that? What do they think?
I think it's different. I think it's different because it seems like back then, um, the transgressions were fresher and they didn't really have as much buffering as they do now. Um, Black people were, it seemed, I mean, it's hard for me to speak on it because I can only go off of what I've been told and what I've seen, um, but it seems to me that back then they were, Black people were stronger with and for each other. They're
Mm,
not like that now because they're so indoctrinated, they're so assimilated.
mm,
So it's totally different. It's harder to get us here. It's harder to get us to understand. It's harder to get us to break free because now they are actually fearful of segregation. They're scared of it. They think we're not going to make it, but we did all before. So to me, it's different. It's not the same. And I personally feel that it's gonna be a harder battle this time around.
Yeah. So
I
because
totally agree.
Me
Totally
too.
agree.
Me too.
you agree. Okay. So that's that's kind
I
of
disagree.
that's why okay. So that's why blood of black unity is my handle. So because I feel that's some work that needs to be done, and for um, Marcus Garvey to be able to accomplish what he did with black people back in the earlier before the Afrocentric movement in the 60s, but in the 20s for Marcus Garvey was able to accomplish what he did without the internet technology, and we hear that. And for him to be able to cross uh, uh, even religious and different ideology lines and still bring black people together, was just huge. But it kind of goes to attest what you're saying. You feel like that because we were more together than because we were kind of forcing our community, because indoctrination, we kind of under the illusion of inclusion. So and that's really taking a toll on us, understanding that we are one, in the same people. So yeah. Go ahead, brother Woke or Adwa.
No, I was only joking. I
Okay,
definitely
okay.
Yeah, no, but I definitely agree. I think that is not only the illusion of inclusion, but the idea that we have progressed. I think
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm.
too many of us would be too afraid to give up, as many people saying in these YouTube streets, the butter biscuits. And so, we had this conversation actually yesterday when we were at our book club. Remember,
Mm-hmm.
and we were just talking about the the buffer class, the whole bourgeois class. And so
Mm-hmm.
now we're in the age of celebrity, we're in the age of this type of symbolism. And again, with social media, it looks as if we have progressed, but we have not. And I think that what saved us back then is that we didn't have social media, as Sugar Plum Goddess mentioned. It was fresher. We were more insular, and we were not afraid to depend on ourselves because we were already doing so. We weren't integrated, So I feel we have I think the battle is going to be much harder. Some people say, well, no, social media connects us more than ever before, but having there's always polar opposites of that. And I feel like, yeah, we are now able to definitely connect with our African brothers and sisters globally, but we also have to contend with that on social media. It's being it's being advertised that we have attained the quote unquote American dream, and so that's what we have to contend with. But the key people that are on television that have these platforms, again, they're more concerned with the butter biscuits. They're more concerned with what white supremacy is going to offer them, So that's something that we're definitely contending with. I feel like we're making strides in the religious aspect. More and more of us are stepping away from that, and that makes me feel great every single day. I don't care if you choose not to believe in nothing, but to believe in something that's been keeping your mentally bondage for 4 to 600 years. Definitely, I feel like that part is progression. But as far as where we are, as far in terms of wealth and unity, not at all.
Yeah, Alma, did you have anything?
No, I disagree with Ottawa and Sugar Plum Goddess. I don't know, it just the part about the illusion of inclusion and the unity part. And I'm trying to word this right. That part really, really gets to me, because just like they say, it's not justice, it's just us. I don't understand why what's well, I guess I do know what's taken us so long to know that and to really get that and to believe that. You know, their sympathy, their
Yeah, don't do
I
it.
guess it's not gonna help us. You know, it's gonna be us, and we're gonna be the ones that's gonna have to do it. But it's just like both the ladies were saying, both daughters were saying, it's just gonna be hard. It's just a uphill battle, but we just got to do it. We just got to keep pushing. We've got to keep doing what we're doing and talking and teaching and reaching and everything, because there is no other way.
Yeah. So, so we kind of, and then, just within your answers, we kind of touching on a lot of the discussions that we're going to have in the future. And guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because we got a lot of content coming to you. So make sure you hit that like button if you enjoying the discussions that we're having. So, because y'all kind of alluding a lot of discussions that we're going to be talking in the future, like religion, because a lot of conscious people, they, just like you said, Ottawa, there's an exodus on the church right now. A lot of people are leaving, their numbers are dropping, and and so there's a void there. When people leave, they leaving, but they don't know where they're going to. You see, and then they trying to be kind of like we went through that too. We just left the church. We just left the church. So there's a whole group of people that's going to be right there, and because a lot of times they're not getting any answers to uh, what's going on in society, because it's separate from their life. Religion is separate from your life, where with a lot of us coming into our spiritual our spiritual life and our spiritual system, it's all in one. It's all in one. We don't separate it from what we're going through every day in life. So yeah, we got a lot of powerful content that's going to come in our discussions. And again, our audience is targeted to the new person that's coming into consciousness, because we want to help. And can any of y'all talk on that, as far as what we want to do, for the community?
So I wanted to speak really on that, and just to clarify, we are not gurus. I don't think anyone on here is claiming to have the official knowledge of the of the Elohim or whatever you're doing, and we're not trying to bring sources. We're just looking to sort of document our journey, right? Like, I don't think that we are necessarily that far along, but just a way for you to join us on our journey. Like I said, we sometimes we'll put the link out, hop on the chat, and build with us, and again, we just are not experts. I don't think that anyone here is claiming to be. It's going to be very opinionated. We do have heated debates. We laugh. Sometimes it's tough, but I think that you guys will really enjoy it. Enjoy it along with us.
Agreed. I just
Ashe. Okay.
Yeah, Ashe. I totally agree. I really, really do um invite everyone to just join us on a journey, and we're all in this together. And I think that that's something that we have to understand, that collectively we need each other, and so I hope that anyone that's further along than me that can help me, my brother and sister, will help lead me to my higher being, and I would do the same for any brother or sister that needs this as well. But we definitely, this is all about the collectives, as stated in our name in this channel, that this is totally about the collective, and I really, really think that you guys are going to enjoy it. I
Ashe.
yield the floor.
Shay. Sugar Plum Goddess, you got anything that you want to share as far as where we at, and to speak on what our intentions are and where we are in part of the journey that we're going.
Yeah, I want to say that I don't think no matter the level of the person, whether you're just starting out or you've been in it for a while, I think there's always room to grow. And I think that's how we can better achieve our goal in building the community that we used to have. It does not matter what level you on. We all invite you. I mean, there are things that I can teach someone that may be considered on a higher level, and there's something that someone else could be considered on a lower level than us that can teach us, because they're bringing in their perspective from from them becoming newly awakened. So it's I look forward to this because I'm like that. I don't know, I guess I'm like a sponge, but it's so much out there I can't even contain it all. So I welcome all perspectives, and I know we look forward to receiving all of them. And I
Yeah.
you.
So and also too, I mean, because as we keep building, um, even the scholars that out there, if you guys have some resources that we can use, because we're in this journey, if you got some resources that we can use and you would like to share with us, we are going to have a Facebook page. We're also going to have Instagram and a Twitter. So there's going to be places where the community can share some sources with us. We'll take a look at, because we're learning too. We're walking through this journey, and that we can share with the community. So um, that's what it is. So Alma, did you? So here's another thing I want to talk on. We are a Pan African people. Let's talk on, for the people that don't know what a Pan Africanist is. A Pan African is. Any of y'all want to build on that, or should I go ahead and tackle that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So Pan African is just ideology of
Ideology.
yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Told y'all we wasn't experts.
Right.
So it's an ideology of Black unity. That's what it is. We have the diaspora.
Black people for Black people.
Exactly. Black people for Black people. Black unity
Everywhere. Everywhere.
everywhere. Connecting
Yeah,
Black people
yeah. Connecting
across,
Black people everywhere.
across the
But
world.
the main thing to drive home about being a Pan Africanist is not only about the solidarity, but it's
Hmm.
about being committed to the liberation of African people worldwide. So you're going
Everywhere.
to hear a lot about this discussions with our discussions. It's not always going to be about us, about Africans that are in America. You're not always going to hear stuff about that. You're going to hear about what Africans face in Martinique. You're going to hear about what Africans face throughout the West Indies or Caribbean, whatever, whichever you want to say, what Africans face in Latin America, what Africans face on the continent. That we're all about. If one of us ain't free, then none of us are free, and that's the whole point. Pan African is about the liberation of African people worldwide. And I know that's going to happen someday. I know that's going to happen, but that's what it's about.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
hear the
All
mic.
right, now Shay.
Well, I guess Ottawa spoke on that.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah. That's it. That's
Well,
it.
because one thing that you're going to hear us say at the end of our calls, a lot of times we say a BD48. We all know what that means. That's about liberation,
Yeah.
liberation
Black
to the
liberation.
African people. You're going to hear that. That's what we're about.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. So did anybody have anything else that they wanted to add? Okay. Okay. So like I said, hit the like button. We're going to have content. There's going to be we're going to let you guys know what our frequency is, as far as posting new videos, and there's going to be a point where we're going to be live. So we're going to let you know what our frequency is. And so you guys keep up with us. But like I said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and, because we're doing this for our community. We're doing this for our community. So with that being said, peace and Black Power. Anything else y'all want to throw into that and sending them out?
Are we
Peace and
closing
Black
out
Power.
with the ancestors prayer?
Okay, yeah, definitely, and yeah, we're doing with the ancestor, thanking our ancestors for coming into to our circle, and Dada Sugar Plum Goddess.
Our great African parents who are among us, we humbly offer our thanks for the many blessings you have given. We extend our love and gratitude to His ultimate state of being for the suffering that you have endured so that we may not suffer so. Mothers of our great African nation, fathers of our great African selves, we invoke you to further lead and guide us to a higher understanding of our true greatness and a more encompassing dedication of love for our African people. Parents of all African children, guide us toward a greater unity, guide us in a stronger African value system, and lead us into the zenith of respect and love for our people through education in the family communal structure. We swear upon the heritage and legacy that you have left us to uphold and sustain our rightful status on this earth and to continue the struggle for the total mental and physical liberation of all African people. Adube Arugu Babawa, Asante Sana, by the spirit of our ancestors. Ashe.
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 All right, peace, family. Hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and you're gonna hear more from us. So we thank you, and hope you enjoyed it. Peace and Black Power.